Welcome to our episode 68 Move the Needle podcast here in downtown Ocotillo at the Trophy Bar. I'm Stephen Petz here with
Angela Harrolle.
And welcome back, Angela.
Thank you.
Angela's guest hosted before. You've seen her here, and we have her again. So
Yeah, excited to be here at the Trophy Bar. It's a great place to watch all the games and start a brunch, let's say, on a Saturday or Sunday morning early if you're one of those diehards.
No, I love it. I haven't been back here since the hockey playoffs, so it was good for me to get back. And I know the football season's here, so people are here. So come on down for brunch.
TVs everywhere. You
TVs
can't see
everywhere.
them right now, but
Yeah.
there are TVs everywhere.
So we thank them for hosting us here. And we have an amazing show here today. We have Mary Mwangi, again, I hope I'm saying that correctly, with Warehouse 215. We have Nate Palmer with Nate Fitness Trends. He's going to talk all about fitness. And our first guest, very exciting, sitting here, Alison Smith, founder and CEO of The Thrive Designer. We're going to hear all about that. But first, we're going to take a break to hear about our partners who sponsor the show and all local that we want our audience out there to support. So real quick, shout out to Brooklyn V's, authentic New York, Brooklyn style Italian food and world famous cheesecake. Tutor Doctor, where students meet at where they want, at ease, I guess, where they will meet you at your home, at a coffee shop. Tutor Doctor. And Von Hansen's, your award-winning old-fashioned butcher shop. Amy Richardson, important decisions require savvy solutions. Amy Richardson, Savvy Realty. And one of our newer sponsors, Duenas Eden Cravata, divorce attorneys, your partners for tomorrow. So thank you all our sponsors. We come back. We've got Alison ready to go.
At Brooklyn V's, we bring the taste of Brooklyn right here to Arizona. Our family's been serving up real Italian food for generations, and every dish is made with love, just like Nonna used to make. From classic spaghetti and meatballs to layers of cheesy lasagna, stuffed shells, and the best New York-style pizza in town. Every bite is pure Italian comfort. And if you haven't tried our world-famous cheesecake, well, you're missing out. It's been rated one of the best in the area, and once you taste it, you'll know why. So come hungry, leave happy, and enjoy a little slice of Brooklyn right here in Arizona.
Hi, I'm Kim Selchin, owner of Tutor Doctor of Ahwatukee, Chandler, and Gilbert. We understand every student is unique, which is why we meet them where they feel most at ease, whether online, at home, or in a public space. Our academic coaching is designed to help even the brightest students overcome organizational challenges, sharpen study skills, and build confidence, empowering them to achieve their best. From kindergarten to adult, we believe every student can be successful. We also have expert SAT and ACT coaches to help teens with college admissions and scholarships. I'm excited to learn how we can partner with your family to help today's learners become tomorrow's successful adults.
Well, welcome back to our Move the Needle podcast. I'm Steve Petz again, Angela Harrolle, and we're here with Alison Smith with The Thrive Designer. Well, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you, and we have a bunch of stuff to dive into. But before we go into that, can you tell us a little about yourself? Are you a native of Arizona? Where are you from? Give us your background.
I am. I'm a native Arizonan.
Okay, wow.
Yeah,
There's
there's
only 5 or something, I
right?
think. So, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Everyone else
I
is
feel
from the
honored.
Midwest.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but native Arizonan, born and raised here. And I took a little jaunt in the Northwest for a little bit and then came back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too rainy and cold?
Yeah, I mean, so today is a rainy day out, and it's so funny because the native Phoenician in me still gets so excited when it's a rainy day. And but yeah, moving up to the Northwest for a little while, I kind of broke me of that. But
Yeah, the novelty wears off
yeah, it does.
pretty quickly.
It really does.
Yeah.
What part of the valley? All over the valley? You move around? Or
East Valley.
Oh, East Valley. Okay, so you're right at home here.
I really am.
Fantastic.
that.
So when did you get into your whole Thrive Designer? Tell us how you got into this whole amazing journey.
Well,
Sure.
first, can you tell me what is Thrive Designer?
So the Thrive Designer is a leadership development firm. So in short, we help women in leadership thrive. We do that through workshops, training and development, leadership development, and executive and leadership coaching.
Awesome. That's really great. Yeah, love it.
Okay, so peeling it back. How did you find this amazing, field and journey? Yeah, work.
Yeah, I actually had a coach myself. So way back, baby Alison. started my career as a teacher. And I loved it, absolutely loved it. It was the hardest work I've ever done in my life.
Okay, what were you teaching?
I was
what
teaching
age?
elementary.
Oh my goodness,
age,
you're a
and I
saint.
was teaching in inner city Phoenix.
Good for you. Oh wow,
And
you're so.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and it stretched me in ways I never thought possible. I ended up having an opportunity to move into the corporate world. I worked for SRP, and I did their community outreach for
Great
education
company. Great
for a
company.
long time. Ended up moving to another corporation, working similarly adjacent to education. I was traveling. I had a new baby, and I could not catch my breath. And I ended up starting to work with a coach. And at one point, I kind of was like, pause. What are you doing? Because I'm feeling advised, but you're not giving me advice. I'm tapping into wisdom, but it's somehow coming from me. What is this magical thing that you're doing? And she was like, I'm a professional coach. It's a whole, I'm using techniques that are pulling the wisdom out of you. And it was so empowering. And she was really the first person who asked me, like, what do you want to do with your life? How do you want to design it? And I had this flash of like, oh my gosh, professional women everywhere need to be working with a coach because we are powerhouses. We know we have the answers. It's not that we're not doing enough or we're not doing the right things. It's that we need someone to hold the space for us to tap into our wisdom and figure out our way forward. And that's why I call it the Thrive Designer, because I really think that we get to be creative with our lives. We get to design the right solutions for us, and only we can know what that is. So I'm the Thrive Designer in my life. You're the Thrive Designer in your life.
Yes.
You're the Thrive Designer in your life.
I love that.
Yeah.
And speaking about women, we have a Thrive designer in Angela, amazing businesswoman here.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to hear you guys go
Are
back
you
and forth.
intimidated, Steve, with the two of us sitting
I just
here?
feel a little bit like I want to hear you guys chat. 'Cause I mean, this is kind of like your world. So I think you guys could have a really meaty conversation because that's how I met Angela. Obviously, she was part of the 100 Club, but also part of this association of business people down here that's made all this amazing stuff happen.
Yeah.
So I know that about her. So
Well, thank you, Steve.
And so I know she's paved her own way.
Thank
and
you.
so I think you guys could really have a great conversation. How you guys have developed your thoughts onto that.
Well, I think so, and I'm so curious. I have like 1,000 questions, but I'm going to share this platform with Steve today. But no, I'm just
Yes.
curious. Why would someone need a coach?
Literally any step you want to take in your life. Oftentimes we don't take the step because we don't have the time. We don't have the bandwidth. We don't have the capacity to take the time to figure it out. And so very simply, like the first reason to hire a coach is if you've wanted to make something happen in your leadership, in your life, whatever arena we're talking about, a business you want to start, a dream you want to pursue, and you haven't done it because you're putting up all these roadblocks, and the first one is, when am I going to do that?
Yeah.
Right? So a coach holds space for that and holds you accountable in a way. Like that time is there for you to pursue that dream, for you to take that step, for you to develop in that way. So very simply, like to hold space. That's
Yes.
a reason why someone should hire a coach. If they want to take a step, hire a coach so that you have that accountability and that space to actually think through how you want to do it. And then why hire a coach versus a consultant or someone else would be, or a therapist, right? Is that a coach is going to always help you keep your focus on forward progress.
Beautiful.
So coaches are all about like, okay, so you know this about yourself. You know that you have these blockers. So what do you want to do about it?
How do you
And help you-
navigate?
Exactly.
How
How,
do
do
you
you
navigate?
design the next step to overcome that?
Yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. And people need that. But do people sometimes feel like it's a luxury? Because, I mean, I think we could all benefit from a coach.
Yes.
But then it's like, all right, how does it become more approachable? How is it something that you integrate into your life? Is this something you work with individuals on or also corporations and presentations and such?
Yeah, the way I look at it is it's an investment.
Yeah.
It's an investment, and you need to understand what the return is on your investment, right? I need to know what I want out of coaching, not just that I want the space, but that I want the space to do X.
Right.
I want to grow this way. This matters to me for these reasons, And that's then worth putting resources toward, both time and financial resources. When I work with organizations, yes, organizations hire my firm all the time and hire coaches or have coaches internally. A lot of companies have a coaching staff because they know that when you invest in people and you give them space to, we'll talk about how I define thrive. I define thrive as really being centered in yourself, grounded in who you are. When you invest and you give people the space to come back to that grounded place, they're always going to contribute in a better way, in a more impactful way, in a more efficient way, in a more emotionally intelligent way, and that has definite returns on investment.
Yeah, for the company too.
Yes.
I mean, if you're a better human, right, and you're working on yourself, you're a better partner. You're a better colleague. You're a better parent, let's say. You're just a better contributor to the community.
Yeah.
And having a bad leader is the number one reason why people leave their companies.
Yes.
So if you have a great leader, there's such a reason to invest in your leaders, because then employee satisfaction goes up, retention goes up, and then,
Yeah, and if you don't invest in your leaders, you don't invest in the organization ultimately. That's tough.
That's right.
That's tough.
I've got a question here. I read that small acts of resilience, you really talk about that. What's the tiniest habit that created the biggest shift in your own ability to thrive?
That's such a good question. And I think that the smallest act for me, and the one I teach often when I'm doing speaking and workshops, is to just pause. To pause and turn inward. If you can take a moment to pause and turn inward, even to just notice, how am I doing? What is going on inside of me? And how is that going to impact the way I show up, the way I react, the way I respond? That can be literally the leverage moment to, kind of that fork in the road of, I'm going to handle this well, or I'm going to handle this not well. I'm going to handle this in a way that is aligned to my intentions and my values, or not. Yeah. And so the smallest act can sometimes just be a pause.
And how long can that pause last before it becomes something?
Well, think about this. Think about road rage.
Right.
Yeah. Right? You're driving down the road. This is a little dance we all play. We all work together until somebody doesn't. And it's like, take a breath. Yep. Pause. I mean, that's a simple little example. Or when you had a crazy day at work, you come home and now you have to interact with your kids.
Yeah.
And if it goes from crazy loud and, uptight to running in the door, and then they're right at you and you don't get that second to pause and redirect.
Yeah.
It can affect your action.
Absolutely. And what happens in that pause is actually something really pretty amazing and heavy hitting in terms of like what the research says about mental health and about emotional intelligence, which is you have the moment to kind of step out of the moment. So some people call that mindfulness. Some people call that presence. I call it like it's a healthy space. Sometimes we just need a healthy space to be like, oh, wow, this employee is really upset. Oh, wow, my kid is triggered by something and dysregulated, right? Oh, wow, my partner is really upset. And if I don't take that moment to kind of step out and observe and shift into observer mode, then I may just end up reacting. I'm like in the action, I'm a character in it, instead of watching the movie and then choosing what role I want to play.
Right.
Isn't that incredible, though, starting as an elementary school teacher, and how much that must positively affect what you're doing today? I mean, we're all kids at heart, and we all need a little direction. We all need coaching. We all need teachers. Yeah, it's true.
And I think that pausing part, she must have learned that in the teaching, because the patience that you must have learned has got to be incredible. Elementary school.
Absolutely.
I mean, must have.
Still practicing that one.
Still practicing.
Yeah. And you asked about resilience, Steve.
Yes.
What about you? What are the resilient components? I've seen you reinvent yourself several times.
Yeah, I have. I would say really just showing up every day. My motto in my life is always moving the ball forward every day of my life.
Moving the needle.
Moving the needle. Before I had moved the needle, I called it moving the ball.
Okay.
It's great. And that could be a lot of things. So a lot of times it's personal, sometimes it's business. But every day I'm just trying to, I don't know, whether it's pay bills, whether it's connect with somebody I haven't. It's just, that's how I define that. So I would say that's kind of my resilience in life, is kind of just getting up no matter what happens in that reinventive phase, and just really just going at it. I think I still go at it pretty hard.
That's
I call that a bias to action. right? And engineers do this. They have a bias to action to say like, well, let me just try something, right? It doesn't have to be the perfect right next action, but that there's something magical about getting into action, right? And just moving the ball forward that gives you that momentum.
Just start.
And a lot of people
just
will
start.
say like, just making your bed in the morning. I think that kind of peels back that same type
There's
of
a whole
mentality.
book about that.
If you could just, if you could just do that, and then next thing, and then the next thing.
Yeah.
Really, I actually talked to my daughter in a past podcast about that. A lot of that pause in life is sometimes when you have so many moving parts and so many things, it can seem overwhelming. Instead of slowing it down and just doing one, crossing it off, the next. Crossing it off. And I guess that's back to your kind of like your mantra about stepping back, pausing, whether you're in the moment or you're not in the moment. It's still stepping back. Think about thinking. Somebody read about that. Somebody said, I thought it was pretty profound. When you could think about your thinking, like, I got,
Do you want to know what the word for that is?
What is that?
Metacognition.
Metacognition.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot in education because you want kids to be able to think about how they're thinking and look at how they're thinking. Well, adults too, right? Can we look at how we're operating? Can we look at how our thoughts are operating? And then decide, maybe I need to shift that a little bit.
That's
and you bring
beautiful.
such a good point because I remember an analogy, I believe it's 2nd to 3rd grade or 3rd to 4th grade in the elementary school environment where the shift in the mindset goes from learning to read to reading to learn. And I think that was a fascinating, flip in that age bracket, and it really does change the way, but I think that's kind of similar to what you're referring to, right?
Absolutely. You have to, in order to be a critical thinker, you have to be able to analyze your own thinking and analyze your own behaviors, right? And so it's a critical step to be able to step out and observe ourselves.
Yeah. And so many of us are just on a hamster wheel. You just keep going and going and going, and you never just, hang on, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Somebody said to you, Alison, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Is this what you want to do? And you're like, well, gosh, I've never thought about it.
Exactly.
You're like, why am I not
Wait,
engaging
what?
that?
Why is that such a hard question?
Yeah, why is this so strange? Yeah.
What about for you? What's your act of resilience? Something small that you do that...
I have a pretty strong gratitude practice. That would be number one. But for me, I need to start with me. For example, the beginning of the day. If I don't, use the example earlier of you just make your bed, you already have something that you've accomplished that day. Well, if I forego me, I don't go to the gym, I don't go for a walk, I don't do something that I really wanted to do or needed to do, and now I've put it on the back burner, the rest of the day, I feel like I'm giving. I'm a very giving person. I love that. I want to do that. But you can't forget about yourself. So for me, it's to start there, protect that, get that done. Otherwise, it just weighs heavy on you. And then just be grateful. And even if you ever get into a poor place, for me, if I'm like, oh, it's just not feeling it, I go make a phone call to someone else I know who needs something. Or I go do something positive to try to pay it forward because it helps me ultimately. It's a little selfish, but gratitude is a beautiful, beautiful gift.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And there's actually so much research about what you just said. There's so many people who will resonate with what you just said. That works for so many of us. And it's such a truth that if I am not showing up for me, I kind of... I carry it with me in the rest of the day. And then instead of having the gratitude, that orientation or that mindset of gratitude, then I have a mindset of resentment. Like, well, I didn't get what I needed, so why do you get what you need? And I know that's probably not a conscious thought, but there's like some unconscious about that. And that's where burnout will set in when we feel resentful or cynical. And so what a powerful practice. And I think what you're doing in that, and tell me if I'm wrong, is you're building a trusting relationship with yourself.
Of course.
You can rely on yourself.
Absolutely. There's no doubt.
And
because if you can't rely on
foundation.
yourself, then who can you rely on? And then that has a replicating effect too. Right.
I love that. And I can't, for that same purpose, I can't wait for tonight doing my hot yoga class with my daughter.
Yeah.
So that's been on kind of my mind. You take care of me. I'm going to wrap the day, and that's how I'm going to end my day. And I like to do that a lot of times. So
Good for you.
That little
that's
peaceful
impressive.
spot.
I'm
Thank you.
allergic to the heat.
Really?
I know it's Arizona.
Then you don't like it. Then you can't do the hot yoga class.
I can't do it. Do you hot yoga?
I have done it like 2 times,
Yeah.
and it was really,
you're alive?
really hard. I'm
Okay.
alive, but
You either, it's one of those things, there's a whole
I
club of
know.
us. We
Yeah,
either-
yeah, yeah.
we either-
It's a
You have
cult
to love
following.
it.
People really
Yeah.
just really embrace it. I just am trying still.
And those who do hot yoga, if you do regular yoga, that's like stretching. It's like that's not
Yes,
even.
yeah.
So it's like it's really like Bikram hot yoga. So
Yeah.
I
Good
can't
for
wait.
you.
That's really how I also take care of myself.
Well,
so
and what a
physically.
great connection with your daughter too.
Yes,
absolutely.
We could do that. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So, your Thrive design principles are so powerful. If you could choose only one for someone who feels overwhelmed right now, which one would you hand them first and why?
it's easy, actually.
Ooh, sorry.
it's-
Sorry for the easy
Yeah,
questions,
no.
folks.
It's the hardest one to do, but it ties so perfectly into this conversation, and it is trusting. So the Thrive design principles are designed to help you reorient inward and create that solid foundation that we're talking about, so you can give in the rest of your life in the way that you want to, and you can contribute, and you can go out and do all the things that create the impact that you actually want, right? But it has to start with us, and it has to start with having a sturdy center internally. So the Thrive design principles help you reorient to that, and they spell Thrive. T is trusting, H is human-centered, R is responsive rather than reactive, I is incremental, which is what you talked about earlier, incremental. V is values-driven, and E is empowered. So I'll focus on the T. The T is trusting, and it's all about creating that trusting relationship with yourself by showing up for yourself. People who truly thrive, who lead from that solid place in their lives, in their work, have a very trusting relationship with themselves. They trust their instincts, they show up for themselves, they are reliable with themselves, they set boundaries for themselves. And so the easiest way to cultivate that as a beginner is to just start a practice of action. So what's one thing I can do to show up for me today? And what I do is I actually use one of those, if you go to a diner and they have all their receipts on a spike,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying?
Almost like a straw, like
Yes.
a steak. You just
Yes. So I write my commitment to myself every day on a little note card, and I stick it in my pocket. And then at the end of the day, I do that thing that day. And then at the end of the day, I stick it on the spike, because I didn't want those to just go in the trash at the end of the day. I wanted to see that these are building up over time. I'm building my trust. And now my little receipt spike is 4 or 5 inches tall.
That's
Nice
and
and
it's
thick.
such a
that's
it's such a
great.
visual of
Yes.
look at me showing up for me. Of course I'm showing up for everyone else all day long. I will do that without thinking about it.
Right.
But what takes intention is to show up for myself. And that not only is just good self-relationship, self-care, but it's also about trusting myself and having that internal foundation that's going to carry me forward.
Right.
I love that.
Beautiful.
Yep. Do you have anything else before I've got a kind of a good final question for her to go?
Oh, I love his final questions. They're my favorite. Let's go to that.
Okay. What's one belief you had? What's one belief you had to let go of to finally become someone who thrives?
That I needed to be perfect.
Okay. The perfection piece.
The perfection. Or that thriving was all about perfection. That thriving was about that polished Instagram, social media worthy life.
Kind of like how I messed up that question and I didn't worry. I just kind of bounced back and I just went
Totally,
for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
Right? You
Yeah.
have to
Sorry.
live
What am I gonna do?
open-handed
Right.
to that.
Sorry.
If I'm closed-fisted, I'm like, oh my gosh, rigid, it has to be this certain way, and then, are there going to be moments where it goes that way? Sure. But what about the rest of the time?
Right.
If I think that thriving is only that moment, that picture perfect moment, then
Right.
99.9% of the rest of your life you're going to feel like it's always just out of your grasp.
Right.
But if you broaden the definition and you change it to, I don't have to be perfect. In fact, what I have to be is sturdy, centered, right? And I just have to keep coming back to that place. Then I can thrive anytime, no matter what's going on.
Right.
Right.
Through all circumstances.
Totally, even failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say showing up is, and a lot of people say this, your authentic self. If you feel comfortable who you are, what you're doing, run with that, right?
Yeah.
that goes a long way. Well, this is an amazing interview. How do people find you? How do they contact you for this amazing journey?
You can go to thethrivedesigner.com. You can email me at hello@thethrivedesigner.com, and let's connect.
Okay, great.
Love
We'll
it.
have that in the show notes.
Perfect.
You can reach out to Alison anytime. So thank you so much for coming on and Move the Needle. We very informative, and I love the conversation, and I can't wait to hear some results from Mathew, because I know you guys are friends and you're tight, so he stays in contact. So anyways, when we come back, we come back, we have our second guest. We have Nate Palmer from Nate Fitness. We're going to hear all about that. I'm very intrigued because he has a different obviously formula from nutrition, and we're going to hear all about that. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in a minute.
Buying or selling a home is one of the most important decisions you're going to make, so you deserve someone who truly cares about your journey. I'm Amy Richardson with the Savvy Realty Group and HomeSmart. Living and raising my family in Ahwatukee for nearly 20 years, this community isn't just where I work, it's my home. Growing up in the Midwest, I learned early the importance of connections and relationships. These values shape everything I do. From our initial conversation to long after you've settled into your new home, I'm here to provide ongoing support and guidance. From staging to cutting-edge marketing strategies, we expertly showcase your home to sell swiftly for the highest possible price. So if you're ready to buy or sell, please reach out to me. And remember, important decisions require savvy solutions.
Well, welcome back to our Move the Needle podcast, episode 68, here at the Trophy Bar in downtown Ocotillo. I'm here with our guest host, Angela Harrolle. Amazing. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah.
And our second guest of the show, we've got Nate Palmer with Nate Training System. So I'm excited to learn all about this. But before we even start, okay, like from before, I see you came in with a jersey here, and what is this? What does this all stand for? It looks like you're playing for the,
The Suns.
the Suns, or one of the farm teams for the Suns.
Yeah, it's my formal jersey. I wanted to wear it because I wanted to dress up.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
I like it. Yeah.
I'm wearing my formal hat also.
That's
so
good.
MDB is basically $1 million body. That's the business that I've kind of iterated into over the past 10 years. And it is the idea that everybody has $1 million body because of, just how valuable it is to have our energy and be able to move properly and feel good in our skin. So I really believe that everybody has $1 million body, and I help busy adults, entrepreneurs, obtain that for themselves.
What does that mean? Define $1 million body. What does that?
Your health is priceless.
Is that physicality? Is that nutrition? Is that both? Talk about that.
Well, I think it's fitness. I think it's nutrition. And I think there's a mindset component to it as well.
Mindset?
But in my mind, the man who has his health has 1,000 dreams, right? Unlimited opportunities. But the man who doesn't have his health only has one dream. And that's really the crux of my philosophy around fitness and nutrition, is that if you're healthy, you can do all of these things. I see so many people in my parents' demographic right now who are retiring. And they had these ideas about what they're going to do when they retire. They're going to go on cruises. They're going to go on exotic vacations. They're going to do all these things. And they don't seem to do any of it because they're too busy going to doctor's offices and battling with insurance companies. So they can't actually have the time or the energy or the health to do the things that they want to do. So it ends up being kind of this just depressing reality that we're seeing playing out for people in their 60s and beyond right now who are I'm going to retire and move to Honduras. My cousin's dad had a dream of he wanted to take his kids to the Bahamas. All his life he talked about this, and he was 3 months away from retiring, died in a freak ATV accident, never had a chance to do it. And so I really feel like if you have your health, if you have your energy, if you have your family around you, that's the time to step up and live as big as possible.
Yeah, and don't wait. Don't wait to retire, to enjoy life, to do the things that you want to do. Take care of yourself now so you last longer.
I also think don't wait to retire. I think you should
I
retire
agree.
in your 20s, then retire
100%.
again in your 30s.
Absolutely.
I'm
Gosh.
basically retired right now. I just
Yeah.
do things that are fun.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Well,
That's the
Nate,
dream.
walk me through this. What does this look like? Does this look like a consultation, a program, a classroom, a mindset? Walk me through this $1 million program that I want to be part of. We'll say I want to be part of it.
Where do I sign
You're
up?
in. Okay, I'll send you the,
I'm in.
I'll send you
Great,
the
I'm in.
link.
Yeah, I'm in. Okay.
So with the $1 million body, what we're doing is we're focused on 3 main core pillars. We got fitness, obviously, nutrition, and we have mindset. And all of this is going to be delivered through a couple different mediums. So number one, I have an app. It's called the $1 Million Body app. You can get it in the App Store. And then I'll have lessons in there teaching you all about kind of my philosophy around energy first fat loss, which is the nutrition protocol that I use. Then I teach people about TEF training, or top end failure training, which is how you get great results in the gym in 45 minutes or less without spending your entire day there. Finally, I'm teaching people how to stay under their stress ceiling so that they can actually recover, rebuild, and fuel their bodies at a high level so they have the energy to go out and do the things that they want to do. And that's so that way motivation turns into momentum.
Yes.
Where do you find people get tripped up even coming out of the gate with this type of program? Because, I mean, that sounded fantastic, but I'll say maybe a little intimidating. There was a lot there. I mean, it sounds like you got to dive in. What say you about that? What's the stumbling blocks they say people getting involved?
I would say the number one stumbling block that I've seen over working with people for 15 plus years and having, I think, over 1,200 clients at this point, the number one issue I see, especially with these type A driven, busy people, especially entrepreneurs, is they try to do way too much. They think that if it's not perfect, then it's not worth doing. And what you said was interesting because it sounds like a lot when I say it all like that and I try to use big words to sound fancy.
You did.
Working on it. I'm working
Too many
progress.
syllables. Yeah.
But I think that the best thing about my program, honestly, is that it gets people results that are sustainable. I teach people how to do this in real life, not just in some sort of insular bubble where you're doing a meal plan, tracking all your macros, and freaking out about it and white knuckling your way to success, all only to fall off the wagon because you don't have the strategy to deal with having a sleeve of Oreos in the house. So my methods are actually a lot less intense, and I think a lot of people come into the program and they're like, when are you going to give me the meal plan? When are you going to ship me out all this stuff? And I'm like, take a step at a time, take a breath, consistency over intensity, always.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And how do you not eat the Oreos?
You do eat the Oreos.
Okay.
I mean, I eat the Oreos.
I know.
They're vegan after all. Do you know that?
Yeah. So is the leather in my
The
jar.
trick to not eating Oreos is don't buy any Oreos.
I know. I understand.
So here's the $1 million question for
Let's
the $1 million
go.
body. How long does it take to get there? Because that's what everybody wants to know.
Right.
I want that. Okay, you said I could join up. Let's see, about by Christmas time. Can I have that $1 million body?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
we got about 4 or 5 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Easily.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
no.
Well, it really depends. And I think this is one of the things is that I want people to have a very good idea of what something's going to cost them. Because getting in great shape is expensive in a variety of fashions. It's time expensive. There's a lot of friction mentally. Changing your habits is probably going to cost you some money with a gym membership, maybe a trainer, supplements, changing your diet a little bit. So I want people to have a very accurate expectation because I feel like missed expectations is really just the mother of disappointment,
Yes.
especially in this. So I want to find out what's your level of intensity? What are you willing to pay? How much time are you willing to spend on this? And when we can get you down to okay, you want this, here's what you can expect in about 6 months. You want this, okay, we can maybe push up the pace a little bit. But I also, I spend a lot of time pulling people back and being like, okay, chill out. You hit your workouts this week. There's no need to go do an impromptu marathon on Saturday. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of my time is spent being like, take a breath. All right, we're going to be fine.
Well, you bring up such a good point because there's another part of this. Sometimes people work out, and rest is valuable. So at some point, do you ever encourage people just take a breath, stop, maybe take a week, take 2, reset your body and re-engage? I mean, do people do that or is that not a thing?
That's a great question. And I'll do that in a certain fashion. I never encourage people to just take time off.
Sure.
Because I feel like one of the greatest recovery tools at our disposal right now is this new thing that they just discovered called walking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, a
I'm
lot
a
of
big
people are
walker.
talking about
Love
it.
Love it. It's my favorite.
Walkies is amazing. It is.
Yeah.
It is. It increases your longevity, it
Right.
improves your immune system,
Yeah,
it
mobility.
burns fat, and it's actually a recovery tool. Whereas I think running costs and weightlifting costs, in terms of your body needing time and resources to recover from it, walking actually fills the bucket instead of detracting from it. So I love encouraging people just to go move, get some sunlight, get outside, and then maybe re-engage with the actual physical weight training at a different point. But I think there's always something that we can be doing. That's why one of my core values is get 1% better. It doesn't need to be 100% better, but over the course of the year, if you get 1% better every single day, you're so far beyond. You're 37 times, and most people try to get 2 times as good and end up failing after 4 days because they weren't able to scaffold it.
It's one of my favorite mantras, 1% better every day.
And it's doable, right?
Yes,
it doesn't feel
it
like
is.
too much.
One little thing, one positive movement or choice in a direction that you want to go can have a ripple effect. It's a It's an amazing thing.
100%.
Yeah.
And I do believe that like getting 1% better actually will lead to making those changes and actually cementing them as a part of your identity. Because I do feel like everyone always wants to talk about what diet should I do, what training protocol, is CrossFit a good idea? And no one really speaks about the idea of developing an identity around who you are that relates itself back to your health. If you believe intrinsically, I'm a fit, healthy person and I make choices that align with that, you're gonna have no problem saying no to the Oreos versus you being like, I'm on a diet. Hopefully I don't eat the Oreos.
Yeah.
Because we always fall back to a level of our identity. We can't out-grit our identity. So
That's
that
true.
needs to change. And there's two ways to change that. Number one is you're eating salad, Steve. And Margot Robbie comes in here and is like, I love that salad. And you're like, oh, I'm a salad guy now.
Yeah.
Sorry
okay.
for the tee up.
It's all right. We got you.
So it's like
Team. Go
or
ahead.
or the
Yeah.
doctor's like, hey, you've got cancer. Like you have a extreme high or an extreme low. And I think maybe Margot Robbie's the extreme high in this situation. Or you can get 1% better, just a tiny bit, these incremental changes over time, and end up being like, wow, at the end of the year, you'll look back and you're like, look where we've come from.
Yeah, and now it's a pattern. Now it's a lifestyle. It's not just one thing that you did, it's many things that accumulated into you being a millionaire, so to speak.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, and I think it applies to business too. I think
Yes.
fitness and business, you can make so many good comparisons.
Absolutely.
So I love that comparison.
Yeah.
You said you've helped over 1,000 people. When you talk about what type of people or individuals do you like to help? Are mostly athletes, all walks of life, men, women, both? Talk about that. Are you helping everybody, the full palette?
I would not say I'm the best fit for everybody. I mean,
Okay.
number one, my face looks like this. That's, a lot of people don't like that, and that's okay.
I don't know why, but that's for the next show.
All right, yeah, we'll get to the second one. So most of the time I find myself really aligning with entrepreneurs. So $1 Million Body kind of plays to that as well, because I feel like if you have your energy, you're able to actually start working like on your business instead of just in your business as well. And I also think that busy parents, and as I've, like, my kids are 7 and 4 now. Wow. And so as I've kind of like seen them grow up and seen like the difference in my lifestyle and the wake up times and like the pickup times and the sports drop-offs, I really resonate with parents. And my protocol is really designed to get you the highest ROI results with the least amount of stress and pressure.
Okay. What does that look like? I mean, it sounds good. Sign me up. What does that day look like when you're saying like, go ahead, Steve, go ahead, do that. What does that look like?
So in my book, it's called the $1 Million Body Method. I give what I call the 7 daily investments. And this is kind of like how I would conceptualize it. Not everyone does all the things all the time. But the number one thing is going to be, or the first thing you do in the morning is your like the AM morning routine. So for me, that's 2 things. I feel like a lot of people have a billion morning routines where you get into a cold plunge and then you drink a green smoothie with some like the Himalayan, beetroot extract, and you have a $700 smoothie to start the day from Erewhon. Yeah. But what I think is you need to drink a glass of water and you need to do 60 seconds of exercise. If you can do that, I feel like you are off to a great start of the day.
Okay.
So whether that's jumping jacks or push-ups or band pull-aparts or just some little shoulder circles, move your body.
While your coffee is brewing.
Yes.
That's
and
my favorite.
I think you should have water before you have your first cup of coffee.
I agree.
And that's purely because it helps the coffee hit harder, and that's important to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't heard that. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
The coffee actually hits harder?
Yeah. And here's another thing that people keep going back and forth about. So when you wake up first thing in the morning, your cortisol level, that's your stress hormone.
Very
it's
high.
not, people think it's bad. It's not bad. It's fine. It's just normal. But your cortisol spikes to help you get out of bed and get on with your day. So if you can time your coffee to start your coffee about 30 to 45 minutes after you wake up instead of having it first thing,
I've heard that,
you can
yeah.
actually use the caffeine to jump off of that cortisol spike instead of having them run concurrently.
Yes.
Interesting. I have heard that, but I didn't really know the rationale behind that.
Yeah.
Good job. That's very easy to understand. So
Right.
sounds like I should be doing that. That's the
Right.
only thing I don't do. I do a lot of great morning routines, I'll say, but not having water before my coffee is not one of them. I'm going right for the coffee, but
Try it out.
Yeah,
Try it out. And the thing I like about this is that just try it for a week and see what happens. I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. But I think if you approach these little N1 experiences with like some curiosity and like playfulness, I think that's another thing that helps create that fitness identity. Where you're like, I'm just having fun. I'm just going to try keto for a month, see what happens. No good. It's not good, not bad. I just want to see what's going on with my body.
Yeah,
I
because
think
not
that's really
everything
fun.
works for everybody.
Totally.
So you mentioned your book. What made you decide to write a book?
So this is my second book. My first book was called Passport Fitness: How to Stay Fit no matter what country you wake up in.
Because you've done some traveling.
Yep, done a little traveling.
Good for you.
Yeah. See, I told you I retired. I retired in my 20s.
I know. I think it's great. But
was
it took you to
fantastic.
Central America, right?
Yep.
Good for you. Not a lot of people will just, take action and go do something like that, but good for you.
Yeah, and I don't think any of my family really understood what we were doing when my
Probably
wife
not.
and I quit our jobs, sold all of our stuff, and then moved to Panama.
Okay. And how long were you there?
We were in Panama for 6 months, and then we were 6 months through the rest of South America.
Beautiful. Wonderful.
And that's how it all started. That's pretty much how it all started.
Yep.
Okay.
Passport Fitness?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that book was basically just like a collection of tips. And then when I wrote my second book, I tried to take all of the information I have about nutrition and fitness, how I coach my clients, the idea behind the science of it, how to use the information to develop your own version of a program that's going to work for you. And I just took it all and put it into this book and created like a 28-day plan. That so if I'm not in fitness in 5 or 10 years, someone could still pick this book up, implement the ideas inside of it, and get great results.
Okay.
So it was, a little bit of ego, a little bit of legacy, a little bit of just trying to help more people out to see the message. So
What's the feedback then?
people like it. I get a lot of people who know me who read it and say, I can hear you saying these words.
Okay.
That's important. It just is a testament to that authenticity. So where do we get your book?
You can get on Amazon. I also have an Audible version. But if you want to just
Thank
download
God.
the PDF or the Kindle version, you can go to getnatesbook.com.
Okay.
And I'll send it to you
Awesome.
for $3.
Aw.
And if you don't like it, you can have your money back.
Oh, that's so nice of you. I can't wait to read it, actually.
Yeah.
Or listen, better yet.
When's the third book coming? Anything
Oh, yeah.
on deck?
I think so. I feel like I like writing. I've been a little bit reticent to do it though with like kind of the rise of AI, because I've had a bunch of people who I know recently who are like, I wrote a book, and I'm like, what's your book about? They're like, well, and I'm like, did you write it?
AI wrote the book.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying. No, writing a book, takes a lot of effort and thought. And I think there are tools there will always have been tools we've talked about that can help clean it up if you're doing it that way. But you have to have your own footprint and handprint on it. I say, like, they've made it so easy before. I mean, before you would have to plagiarize, but you still have to write it down. Now it's like it's cut and paste. I mean, it's like, or just upload.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Fascinating.
So it is. It's a lot of work, dedication. I've got a question before we have to leave and get to our third guest. But this has been so amazing. It's a lot more than I expected. Honestly, I did not know.
You saw the Suns jersey and you were like, I don't know about this guy.
I just didn't know. I just didn't know what
And
it
he's
was all
tall.
about.
I get that a lot.
What's the most brutally simple fitness truth people don't want to hear, but once they accept it, everything changes?
That's a great question. I feel like it goes back to the consistency over intensity. And if once you accept that, like, you're not going to get great life-changing results in 3 months, and that you don't ever really get back to go back to eating normally, like your identity has to shift, then it makes it easy to be like, all right, I'm in this for the long haul, and therefore, like, what I do today, even if it's just a tiny bit, it's going to propel me to tomorrow. And I think once you have that mentality, it takes a lot of the pressure off of what we put on ourselves to, like, get in shape, get great results, get back to the gym after the new year, etc.
I love that. And so we're gonna have you back eventually. Now, I think we're gonna have a few of these guests back to see where you've been when you maybe were at that third book. Get some updates. So how do people find you? How do people join your program? How do they contact you directly, or talk about that?
So you can go to $1,000,000bodylabs.com. That's where I sell my supplements, and you can also enroll in some of my programs there. So if you need some high quality supplementation there, I create all the supplements for myself and for my clients, stuff that I take. So $1,000,000bodylabs.com, or find me on Instagram @_$1,000,000body, because the regular one was taken and the person won't message me back. So you got to have an underscore in there.
I love that. Finding a way to get it done, though.
I feel like
that's a little resilience.
It's on the internet. You'll get it.
You'll find them.
Yeah.
So, well, Nate, thanks again for coming, sharing your message, and look
such
them
a
up. Hit them
pleasure.
up. Yeah, if you want to get in, looks like if you want $1 million body, you know where to find it.
Quick question for you guys real quick.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh.
I have to know before I leave.
What does ghost mean?
Ghosts.
Like spirits?
Spirits.
I do.
Angela?
I believe that there is another, yes, on some level.
Okay. I just wanted to find out before I left.
Okay. That was it? Okay, perfect. Awesome.
We'll have you back on the show
Okay.
for the second time
Okay, yes.
to break that down a little
Okay,
bit more.
good. I
Yeah,
love that.
not only that, but then we can find out how your 28-day plan went.
Yeah.
And if we were actually 1% better every day.
Okay. Sign me up.
Done.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks again, Nate. And when we come back, we are going to be here with Maria Mwangi. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that well. She'll let me know for sure. With Warehouse 215. Very exciting. They've been doing amazing things for a long time. So we come back. We'll see you in a minute.
Divorce is never easy. It's emotional, uncertain, and deeply personal. That's why at Dueñas Eden Crevata, we start by listening.
Unlike large firms, we specifically limit our case size, so your case never gets lost. We guide you through divorce, custody, and property division with clarity and care. Some lawyers equate aggression with success. We know better. We lead with compassion, integrity, and unwavering advocacy, because protecting families requires more than a courtroom fight.
At Dueñas Eden Crevata, we're more than attorneys. We're your partners for tomorrow.
We are back, episode 68, downtown Ocotillo, the Trophy Bar, our final segment with, and I had to apologize because I did butcher her name, Maria Mwangi.
Yes.
With Warehouse 215. So welcome, Maria.
Thank you.
We're excited to hear all about you in Warehouse 215. We just learned that the building is 100 years old. My first question was, is the operation 100 years old? And you said no. Before we get to that, let's know a little more about you.
Okay.
Where are you from? Are you original native? Tell me about your background.
So originally from Southern California, moved to Arizona when I was 18 to go to school. So in 20, I'm going to age myself. So
That's
in
okay. We'll
19
blur through the numbers.
I'm older than both of you, so go ahead.
1995, moved to Arizona. Lived here
Me
till
too.
really okay.
Same here.
So it was hot. It was July. It was 118 degrees that day. I was like, I moved to hell. And then in 2010, my husband and I moved to San Antonio, Texas. And I moved back here in 2016 after he passed.
Okay.
So I've been here since.
You want to share with our audience about that? Because I know that's part of your journey. I know
Yes.
you want to share?
So in 2016, unfortunately, my husband at the age of 41 had a stroke and on May 1st and passed away on May 17th.
Wow.
So not ready.
No.
We thought we had a lot more time. So I was not ready to be a widow at 40 with no life insurance.
Oh, wow.
So I was a GoFundMe widow, humbly say that. And then I had, my boys were 7 and 9 at the time.
Wow.
So I'm a big advocate for life insurance, and I will stand on every soapbox and say that to everybody and anybody.
I had a similar situation.
Really?
My children were almost 3 and 5 when I was widowed, and also no life insurance. And it is quite a journey, and I too, like you, am a big advocate that people can just do what you can. It doesn't have to be a lot. And just know that there are beautiful people out there who are doing amazing things, like you, Maria, even after that, and it can launch you into places that you never imagined.
Yes, my life before and after his passing is two different Marias, honestly.
There literally is a before and after. And we both ended up here at the Trophy Bar in Chandler, Arizona. Who knew? And we actually came here the same year from other states to go to school. So kind of fascinating how timelines align.
I like that.
Yeah.
So when I moved back here, I started back in catering. I was in catering in Texas. I thought I was at the height of my career when I moved back, thinking, how am I going to start all over again? And now I'm doing things that I would have never dreamed of doing. So,
Like what?
well, I am the CEO of Warehouse 215. And so we
Which
are
is?
What is?
an event venue downtown. So we are the largest event venue downtown that's not a hotel. We're 28,000 square feet. I tell people in 1 week we had Kamala Harris, and then on that Friday we did Shaq's rave. So that's kind of
everybody in
different
between?
Ends of the spectrum?
Everything in between.
I
So
like it.
galas, concerts. This weekend we had the the queer market. We had and 3 galas and did a candlelight concert. So
'Tis
we're
the
kind
season.
of I'm tired.
'Tis the season.
So is it pretty much all year action going on?
We are. Our ownership is out of New York, and they thought, well, what happened, Maria? You didn't do events for like 3 weeks in July. And I was like, that is amazing. You don't understand.
We should be shut down in July. There's
because
no
this is
July.
the face of the sun.
Exactly.
That's why.
We are shut down, and Move the Needle doesn't even do our podcast in July.
So we had a
skipped
full
town.
June and a full August, which is unheard of in the event industry. But we're 28,000 square feet of air conditioning. So we really pushed that.
That's
My
wonderful.
team wasn't too happy about it because they didn't get a whole lot of like reset and you know what you do in down season. But we were very fortunate to be kind of the venue to be in to do your events in town. So
I think that's pretty special.
thank you.
Good
We've
for
built
you.
it. We've in the last three and a half years when I started there. It was the ownership out of New York saying they're land developers, they're real estate developers. So they just thought they were buying real estate, not realizing it was really an event business inside. So when I started, I thought I was taking over an already event business that had been functioning for like 12 years before us. But they handed me a spreadsheet with 14 events that we inherited and said go. And I
Good
didn't
luck.
I didn't have a computer, I didn't have systems in place, I didn't have budget, I didn't have anything. So we were riding the bike full speed ahead while we were building it. And we've done well.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to get started. We talked
Yeah.
about that earlier. Just get started, just go.
Yeah.
And you figure out the details later.
Yes.
So,
And
good
one
for
thing
you.
I'm very proud of with that is our client list is very impressive. We've done probably, it feels like everything under the sun. But on my spare time, I am the current president of WISE Arizona. So we're
read
women
that.
in sports and
Yes.
events.
Yeah, we got
And-
some questions on that too.
Tell us, what is that organization? I mean, what do they do for women in sports and events?
So we support women in male-dominated industries, and which is sports and events in general. We are 300 members. My board is 16 women that span all of the teams basically that we have in town, as well as like State Farm Stadium, Desert Diamond Arena. I got involved when I worked with Live Nation before here. I was at the Van Buren, and it was Comerica at the time. I think it's Arizona Federal Theater now. So they just called and said, get involved with WISE. It's a good organization. I walked in and just found my people.
Oh,
So
how
I was a little
special.
nervous the first time I went to the event, or one of the event I went to is actually their 1-year anniversary. It was my first time networking sober. And so I had never gone to a networking event. After my husband passed away, wine was my grief counselor. So
That's
I
pretty
had,
common.
Yeah. So after 2 years of drinking my emotions and my grief, I decided enough was enough. And so I decided to live a sober lifestyle. And when I kind of mentioned that, people were just like, here is something non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
And it just
Here's a
wasn't a
mocktail.
thing. And it was
Yeah.
just they're girls for sure. But we help. Oh my gosh, we help so many, like just girls in sports, but we do a Women of Inspiration event every year. We do Women to Watch, which is celebrating the up-and-coming women in the industry, the ones that are doing all the work that really don't get the recognition.
Yeah. Well, and you're empowering others and lifting them up, which
Yes.
women need to lift other women up.
Yes, for sure. We do lunch and learns. Tomorrow we're doing a lunch and learn on how to public speak, we've done events on how to dress in the workplace, because we have this secret sauce that we're able to have students and early in your career to seasoned professionals all in one place and just helping each other out.
Yeah,
So
what a
it's
great
been-
opportunity for mentorship.
It is.
Really great.
Yes.
I've got a question on WISE. What's one thing women in sports and events needs to hear right now about stepping into leadership with confidence?
I believe we step into the leadership. It's the culture that needs to be cultivated in the teams.
Okay.
So we need our allies, like yourself, to cultivate the area and the space to sustain and to keep women in the workplace. They need to be paid well. They need to be recognized. They need to be listened to. They need to have all of the systems in place to be able to draw women in and keep them.
What do systems in place? What does systems in place look like?
Well, I think mentorship is a big topic, but also, what are you doing for women that, like, if they are going to be having children? You know, what is happening to help them be able to family plan and still work season? You know, because it's kind of like, if you work in baseball, there's how many baseball games, and if you're due at that time, I think in general, it just needs to be more of a culture of acceptance instead of a this is how it goes versus, you know, like, deal with it or don't.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What excites you most about Wise Arizona?
I think it's just the mentorship. I love just seeing, I didn't know, I'm not a sports girl. I was my dad's son and my mom's daughter.
That's what I was waiting for. I'm like, waiting for this athlete to come out of you, but no?
If I'm running, you need to run with me because the world is ending.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, someone's chasing you with a
zombie
sharp
apocalypse?
object.
Yeah.
Yes, that is happening.
Yeah.
But I watched Dodger games, Laker games, and Raider games with my dad. And I knew when to cheer and when to say it was bullshit.
Yeah,
So,
I love it.
It's okay. You're all good here.
You got everybody's attention. It's
Exactly.
perfect. Yeah.
So I was never the athlete. So when I got into it, I always tease that I'm the E in Wise on the event side. But I do a lot of sports. I do the party for the events.
Yeah.
So where my venue is we are right in the area where across the street from the new Mercury training facility.
Where's that? I don't know where that is.
Right on Grant and 3rd Street.
Oh, okay. Right.
So 2 blocks south of where the Suns and the Diamondbacks play. So we do a lot. We're just central. Our location is just location. So we
The
are
heart of
prime
everything.
with that. So we do a lot of sporting events. Like when Super Bowl was here, we did the VIP party for the NFL for all the players.
Jeez.
So
Exciting.
You must be so busy. Is there like a little cot in a back room somewhere?
I do
that
have a couch in my office that I
Nap time?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, it's so good for you.
Yeah. So I think what excites me the most is just being able to see the women that power the teams. You know, you see the sports and you look at the players, but there is a whole legal team and there's a whole accounting team and a whole HR team and all those are a lot of women.
Yes.
That are really running the organization.
Good thing women don't go on strike.
I know, right?
And Maria, I've got a follow-up, interesting enough, about the mentorship. Your life is built on resilience, reinvention, and community. When you mentor someone who feels like they're starting at zero, what's the first truth you want them to believe about themselves?
Well, just that they are able and capable to walk in that door and that they belong there. I never felt like I belonged anywhere. Early in my career, I just said this in a speech the other day. I was told very early that, you know, you're Latina, you're fat, and you're a woman. You're never going to make it in the industry. You know, like
horrible.
I've just been told so many times that
Where
I
are
didn't
they?
belong. Yeah. So I had to believe in myself to walk into that door and have the confidence and say that I belonged, even if I didn't have a degree. That's another thing that I did not ever finish was getting my degree. And so to believe, I think I would have been a CEO 10 years ago had I believed in myself more. What do they say? A man will apply for a job if they're 50% qualified, but a woman will wait till she's like 90 or 100% qualified.
Unfortunately.
If I believed in myself a little more earlier, I would have been further. So I think just giving these girls the confidence to
Get right in there.
And do it scared and do it with your voice shaking, but just do it.
So I've got a daughter coming up. That's what I'm telling her. To me again, like I have a boy and a girl. Obviously, you know, I got the male side of things. But for women, I think it is right now. It's an amazing opportunity for them. It's whether it's business, whether it's sports, that the field is really leveled off as much as it's ever been. I'm not going to get into whether it's exactly where we need to be, but the opportunity is there. I tell Annalise, I'm like, you can do really whatever you want to do.
Yes.
I mean, there's so much support that women give each other that frankly men don't give. That's a shortfall from men. We've talked about that in other shows. These support groups, whether it's whether you lose a loved one or divorce, or whether it's just you go girl teams, we just don't have that as guys. It's unfortunate. We just don't have the support group, though the people are they are starting to rally around it. It is one of the needs, believe it or not, in society that people are recognizing. We have some male therapists coming on, so not to divert,
is big.
not to divert in subject to the guys, but all this was about saying is that really the women out there just have an opportunity, so they should get out there immediately.
Yeah,
just
and
get
they
out
need to
there.
engage. And good on you to be part of WISE. I think that's a great organization, but it's about empowering and lifting each other up and engaging. But people have to want to.
Yes.
You have to have the courage, and then you have to want to. So.
Well, and we have to raise, I'm a boy mom. I have 2 boys. Mm-hmm. So I'm raising somebody's husband and somebody's ally. Mm-hmm. And whether they're going to be allies for any community, I've been at a boardroom table where I've said something and they are glazing over, and then a guy said exactly what I said, and they were like, what a great idea.
Infuriating.
And he said, thank you, Maria just said that. And so he was a true ally to me at that moment.
I think that's amazing.
So I think mentorship gives you a roadmap, but allyship walks you through the door.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I think if more people get you by the hand and walk you through that door, like I've told people, the glass ceiling's shattered. We've done that.
Oh, yeah.
But there's glass all over that we as women need to clear this path so that girls like your daughters aren't cut along the way, that it's a clearer path for them to walk down easier than we've had to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Before we finish up, I've got one, but anything from you? Got anything that you need to know?
No, this is my favorite part. I always say that because I can't wait for Steve's last question. But no, did you ever imagine if you could go back 15 years, what would you tell your younger self?
Slow down. Slow down. I think as being a widow, there's so many times that I look at memories on Facebook and it's like this time 15 years ago, and I look back and say, God, if I could tell me in that picture that in 6 months he's gonna die, and that my little family had an expiration date, that what would I have done different? I would have just spent more time. Right. I would have there's so many times where he'd be like, just sit down and watch TV with me. I'm like, no, I gotta wash the dishes. Yeah. No, I've got to pattern vacuum before I go to bed. None of that mattered. It was the time that we had together. Nothing that he bought me, nothing that, it was just the time. So slow down, live in the moment, and again, do it scared.
I love that.
Do it scared. I love that.
I love that. Okay, what's one belief you had to let go of to become the woman you are today? And how did life change once you finally released it?
Well, I had to believe that I was worthy first. I always knew I was different, but I didn't know I was worthy, and that was different. I was worthy to walk into that. I belonged.
And once you felt that, how has your life changed? Obviously, I think we're seeing it right before our eyes.
Yes, there's no question.
It was just one day I just woke up different, and it was like, I am so tired of being everybody's everything, and what am I going to be for myself? Again, life is short.
Yeah.
And what are my boys? My boys have such a memory of their dad, and I make sure that they were in photos and that they have, and I keep him alive for them. But what are they going to remember about me?
Right.
And what kind of woman are they going to look for in their future? Because you tend to kind of go with what you're used to, right? Mm-hmm. So what kind of women are they going to find attractive? Because what kind of example have I been for them? Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure that that I was strong enough, and that they knew. People are like, you're so strong after you're a widow, and it's like I am strong. And I'm worthy, but I'm also, hold me delicate, not like a bomb, like a flower. Mm-hmm. I also want to be treated like a woman.
Okay.
Like, I can, bring home the bacon and fry it up in the pan and do all the things, and I am woman, hear me roar, but I still am a girl.
Yes, that's
I
beautiful.
love that.
And you know what? I think at the end of the day, I think, from your kids' perspective, and I can't obviously speak for them, but you simply showed up. Mm-hmm. You didn't know how to do it.
No.
You did it anyway. You just showed up, and you continue to show up. And now you're showing up for the Wise Group. You're showing up for the warehouse. You're showing up for you. Those are big hurdles.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
I'm privileged to be amongst two amazing women that have rebuilt their lives, really. And look where you both are. So, very powerful stuff. So, how do people find you? Do you have an ask, first of all? I know, do you guys do some fundraising? Is there an ask?
Yes. For Wise Always, we are always looking for sponsors and corporate sponsors, and right now I'm looking for a hotel for our board retreat. Like, there's always something.
Always something to sponsor, right?
Always. But I do have LinkedIn. That's where you can find me.
Where can they find you on LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, Maria Mwangi. Not a lot of people out there named Maria Mwangi.
I know. The M and W right next to the flip-flop is an interesting pair.
Whenever I spell my name, I say MW, and they're like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "I know how to spell
it's my name.
It's been a few years. I think I've got it.
I've got it. But yes, on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, Facebook. All is under Maria Mwangi.
And we'll have that in the show notes. But so Maria Mwangi, Warehouse 215,
yes,
Wise, Arizona. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story and your journey. And it sounds like you got a lot more to do. So
just getting warmed up.
I'm not done.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
What an amazing show. Great to have you, Angela.
Pleasure to be
Loved
here.
having you again. Angela's our guest host, and this is her second show. So so thanks again.
Yeah.
So great. So as a wrap, episode 68, downtown Ocotillo, the Trophy Bar. So gracious host, such a great place. Come down and visit. Again, Angela mentioned the brunch, but all the
they have
sporting
brunch on the
events.
weekends.
There's
Speaking of sporting,
there's sporting.
Great place to watch a game.
Yeah, there's TVs everywhere. And again, final shout out to our sponsors: Brooklyn V's, Tutor Doctor, Von Hansen's Spirit Meats and Spirits. I didn't want to forget the spirits. Again, like overthinking that one. Amy Richardson, Savvy Realty Group, and Duenas Eden Cravata, a new partner on board. So we thank them. Again, all local businesses, some of the best of the best. We ask you that you patronize them. They're local businesses. So again, thanks everyone for watching. Great show. We'll see you next time.